Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another video. So we got some brand new news. Obviously, this is something that I find pretty interesting. Okay, so obviously if you're new to the channel or if you've been a fan of me ever since my original channel or something, you know I'm a huge Saw fan. It's so apparent. But as I've said with all of my videos, we've had the new Saw film. It's going to be opening up on October 27th, 2018. And one of the cool things about this that I was kind of worried about, but now seemingly seems like it's going to be okay, was there was going to be too much competition when we head into something like October 2017. It was pretty crowded up until basically right now. And what I mean here is, at the time of recording this, we know that Blade Runner is going to be opening up on October 6th, I believe it is. And then also you have the next Kingsman movie is going to be opening up during that time. So obviously there's a lot of big movies coming out, a lot of highly anticipated blockbuster type of films that are going to be coming out. And Saw is just kind of, you know, it's not necessarily a blockbuster type of franchise, even though it has way more sequels than those movies dare to even dream of. And obviously it does have its own big fan base, but the series has been dormant for so long, and I was very worried about that. One of the things I was worried about a couple months ago was that Insidious 4 was being planned to turn up sometime at the beginning of October, you know, midway through October, and it was going to be playing into maybe the second weekend of Insidious 4 when that actually happened. And then we had a situation where, I guess at that point, or at least up until right now, we had God Particle, which is basically Cloverfield 3, coming out at that particular time. And obviously at that situation, it was like, oh my gosh, like Saw is going up against a Cloverfield film, and the original Cloverfield and even 10 Cloverfield Lane do very good at the box office, both of which opened up over 30 million. And the Saw films haven't seen that type of numbers since, I guess, the 5th film, and even then it was slipping really badly. And honestly, like, could it even kind of come back in the way that it was in originally? I'm not necessarily sure right now, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I was really worried that Cloverfield was going to have to go up head-to-head with Saw Legacy. At the time it was called Saw Legacy, now it's called Jigsaw. I was worried that Paramount or Lionsgate, one of these people, they weren't going to blink and it was going to hurt both films. I'm excited for both films, but I thought it was really going to hurt Jigsaw and the potential success there, and even the potential, you know, chances for sequels and all this other stuff when it came to that particular entity or this particular franchise. So I am really happy to say right now that Paramount has taken the step. Whether or not it is that there's some problems with the movie, they don't necessarily think it's going to sell, whether they believe like what I'm saying, and it's just too busy of a month with Jigsaw and with Kingsman and with Blade Runner, that they want to go to someplace a little safer. They want to go to February 2nd, 2018. That's a really good date. Usually not necessarily a whole lot of competition in February. I can't tell you what else is coming out around that time off the top of my head, but obviously they're running away. They're kind of giving themselves more time to build the film, market the film, edit the film, all this other stuff. It could have all the stuff to do with quality. It doesn't have to be that they're afraid of Blade Runner or Jigsaw or any of the other movies coming out in October or even November, because we got some pretty big movies coming out at the end of this year. I just think it's interesting that they were the ones to blink first and they ran away, considering the strength of the Cloverfield franchise and even the J.J. Abrams brand over the last decade. So I think this is really good news for Jigsaw and Jigsaw fans. I think this is really good news for people who like the Cloverfield films. And obviously the Wrap is also reporting. That's where the information is from the Wrap. I'm going to put it in the description section below if you guys want to go read the article. But they're reporting that in order for God Particle to move, they're also pushing back a George Clooney film called Suburbicon, which is basically a home invasion film, getting that, I guess, that Halloween revenue coming in with home invasion films. But I'm really wondering how this movie is going to play against a movie franchise like Jigsaw, whether, you know, Fresh and New is going to actually allow people to get really excited about going to see that, or just the revival of a long dormant, very beloved franchise will draw more crowds. It's going to be really interesting to see how those movies go head to head. But this new movie that they're kind of replacing it with does not have the same pedigree as the Cloverfield films, like I've talked about before. It was going to be a bloodbath at the box office, and now it's not. And I think that this is really very good news for everyone who's excited to see more Jigsaw stuff in the future, not just this film. But if this film does well, maybe they're going to do the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, and we're going to get like 14 films in this franchise. And I know a lot of people think that that's a really bad idea, that's a really stupid idea. I would really like it, just because I'm just a sucker for these films. I just want more and more and more of them that can never get enough. So I think that this is a good news for Saw fans. It's good news for Cloverfield fans. You're going to have a better movie out of this, hopefully. And maybe they're moving it because they do believe in it and they wanted to give it as much room to breathe as possible, and not necessarily they're just dumping it in the wasteland, because February, for the most part, isn't necessarily the wasteland that it once was. Same thing with January, especially with these kind of horror-centric films going into all of this, beginning of the year thing. They usually do pretty well. When most movies move, some movies move to the end of the year into earlier the next year, it's like a bad sign. But with horror movies, it's never really that much of a bad sign. Of course, now, because Insidious 4 actually jumped to 2018 before, it's still going to have to compete with that. But I still believe, like I said before, and I've said previously on other videos, that Insidious 4 has no game on Cloverfield 3. Those movies have been falling. It's been falling in quality and financial success since the third film, and I don't necessarily see it actually turning a new leaf. So people are going to be much more interested to see God Particle than they are Insidious 4. But all of these films, like I've been talking about here, now have time to breathe, and they're not coming out in the exact same month and potentially cannibalizing each other. I think it's a really good thing. So anyway, guys, tell me what your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Are you glad that it's moving to 2018, God Particle, Cloverfield 3, whatever you want to call it? Are you sad about it? Would you have rather seen that box office matchup between Jigsaw and God Particle? Or are you sad that you have to wait longer to see this movie? Are you excited for Jigsaw? Are you excited for God Particle? Are you excited to see Suburbicon? I mean, I guess I'll just have to wait to see what it's all about, but I'm just going to, I'm holding off judgment for right now. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell over by the subscriber button, and I'm going to catch you on the next video. Bye.